Hey, welcome to Pretty Well. Do you want to get to the root causes of your health concerns? Do you find yourself Googling, why do I feel this way? And looking for solutions to feel great again? I'm Lisa Smith, and I too felt exhausted, achy, and like I was aging too quickly. I wanted to look and feel like myself again, and spent way too much time and money going to practitioners, even functional medicine practitioners, and not getting results. So I became a functional medicine practitioner myself and learned how to identify and fix root causes to health issues. The good news is there is so much you can do to reclaim your wellness. In this podcast, you'll find quick, simple, and evidence-based guidance that you can easily fit into your day so your energy will be soaring, your mind clear, and your skin will return to its beautiful glow. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to the Pretty Well podcast. I'm Lisa Smith, and today is New Year's Eve. Can you even believe it? We're right on the brink of a new year. It is mind-blowing how fast this year has gone. Today, I want to do a special episode. This has been a year of introspection for me. Whether you're listening to this on New Year's Eve or honestly anytime, I am really glad you're here. This would be applicable at any time of year, but especially now, because this is the time of year so many of us set New Year's resolutions and decide we're going to reinvent ourselves. This is the year we're really going to get in shape, or we're really going to get better in control of our time. So many different goals and aspirations as we're looking at a new year. But this episode isn't about setting goals. It's not about reinventing yourself. And it's definitely not about waking up tomorrow as this brand new you who suddenly loves to juice every day and wake up with the birds and tackle everything before 9 a.m. Instead, this episode is about pause. Taking time to pause between the end of 2025 and the beginning of a brand new year. That quiet space where things slow down just enough that we can reflect on our truth and what this last year has meant to us and what we hope going forward. This is the time of year when the emails stop, the noise starts to fade away, and we stop having to be on all the time. And instead of asking, who am I going to be next year? What should I do next year? Let's start with a more honest question. What actually mattered this past year? That's what we're looking at today. What I'm carrying with me, what I'm intentionally leaving behind, and how I'm thinking about the year ahead in a way that feels more grounded than ever and less performative than ever. So wherever you are, whether you're driving, walking, cooking, hiding away to get some peace for yourself, let this episode feel like a deep exhale. No goal setting, no resolutions, no fixing. Because here's something that I've learned the hard way and the long way. It's taken me so long to learn this. And I have a feeling that life is going to give me a lot more opportunities to keep learning this. But lessons don't arrive in neat little packages that come at once, and we get the lesson and we get the idea and then we move on. They definitely don't come when it's most convenient or when we're ready. Most of my lessons this past year, they showed up repeatedly. Same message, different wrapping, different time frames. And for a while, I didn't even realize what some of these messages were. I just kept thinking, wow, why do I feel like this again? Haven't I worked through this stuff already? Didn't I already outgrow this lesson? Don't I already know this? But here's the truth. Sometimes you're not repeating a lesson, and sometimes it's not exactly the same, it's nuanced, but you keep realizing that your life is requiring something new, something that causes you to stretch, and what you realize is you're integrating a lesson or multiple lessons. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year is that striving and pushing and chasing and doing more is rarely the answer. Not more protocols, not more supplements, not more discipline, pushing, optimizing, fixing. And I say this as someone who's really good at effort, really good at striving and pushing and fixing and holding it all together and being disciplined. But the real breakthroughs this year, the ones that actually stuck, they didn't come from adding anything. They came from removing friction, removing expectations that never were mine, but I took them on, that I inherited instead of chose for myself. Identities that I had way outgrown, but I kept wearing out of habit. Take a breath here and ask yourself, what finally got easier for you this year? Not because you tried harder, not because you pushed harder, but because you stopped fighting and striving. That's not failure, that's wisdom. So let's talk about what stays. Because growth isn't about erasing the past year, it's about discerning what earned its place in our lives to stay and move forward with us. Here are some things I'm intentionally carrying with me. Taking time for discernment over urgency. Not everything needs an immediate answer. Sometimes it doesn't need any answer at all. Jefferson Fisher, someone I absolutely adore, he says it so well when he says, not everything someone says to you deserves a reply. Not every idea needs to be done. It doesn't need to be made into a project. Not every emotion needs you to act on it. This year taught me the difference between being present and reactive. Urgency feels so important, but often that urgency is anxiety. Discernment, though, that sounds quieter, slower, more present, more grounded. That's what I'm carrying with me. Next, respect for my nervous system. This has been a huge lesson for me this year, one that I have never paid so much attention to. When I don't listen to my energy, my limits, my gut, my intuition, that's when things start to fall apart. Maybe not right away, maybe not immediately, but definitely over time. This year reminded me that listening to my nervous system, that's not laziness, that's not weakness. That's intelligence. And that goes hand in hand with the first one, discernment. We don't build the life we want, the life of purpose and meaning, by just white knuckling our way through it. We build it by listening, especially listening inward. Ask yourself, this past year, where did you stop overriding yourself? Where did you stop pushing through and powering through even when your body said no? Where did you start listening in and listening to your body? Maybe it's resting, or maybe it's saying no to something. Go back and ask yourself that question. And wherever you find that answer, that counts, even if it was just a little bit. The next thing I'm carrying into 2026 is fewer hard, fast rules, less rigidity, better questions. Instead of asking, is this allowed? Is this the right way to do it? I'm asking, is this in alignment with my purpose, with my goals, with what brings me meaning in this life? That question alone not only filters out so much noise, but it keeps you on the path that's taking you where you ultimately want to be going. It cuts through comparison. It cuts through guilt. It cuts through FOMO and trends that sound smart, like a good idea, but they don't feel right in your nervous system. I like to remember that every yes means a no somewhere else. We're yes people. We want to say yes to all the things, all the opportunities, all the responsibilities, all the ways we can help others. But when we say yes to all those things, we may very well be saying no to what is going to get us where we want to go, on a path of meaning and purpose and fulfillment. So if something sounds good or looks good, like a good idea, something you should be doing, but it drains you in real life, or it doesn't sit right in your gut. That's data. You don't need to argue with it. Next, I'm taking into this new year trust that is built slowly and with intention. Not trust that's declared, but trust that is demonstrated quietly, slowly, step by step. This year reinforced that for me, that trust in relationships, in business, in myself, in the Lord's leading is built through small, consistent steps, patterns, not intensity. Small promises kept, boundaries honored, still small voice listened to. Ask yourself, what are you proud of this year? Not because it impressed anyone, but because it felt aligned with you. That's what we're carrying forward, you and me. Whatever was aligned from 2025, that's what gets to go forward into 2026. Now, what I'm leaving behind. Now comes the release, because we don't need to drag everything into this new year just because it's familiar. Here's what I'm consciously leaving behind. First of all, the belief that discomfort means that something is wrong and I need to fix it. Sometimes discomfort is just information. Sometimes we're between two chapters of life, the old one and the new one. And there are pieces of us that get to stay, but we're always moving towards something new. It could be growth or it could be the opposite of growth, but our trajectory is always moving. And that middle space between where I've been and where I'm going, that can feel uncomfortable. That can feel awkward, not safe, and unstable. But that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that your life is moving and it's transitioning. And growth, it always feels disorienting. It always feels a little wrong before it's right and before it feels empowering. Another thing I'm giving up, over-explaining. If something's a no, it doesn't require a backstory. It doesn't require an explanation. It doesn't require other people's opinions or a permission. Clarity is not loud. It doesn't need to justify itself. It just is, and it just stands. This year reminded me that peace comes from honoring what's true and not needing others to agree with that. That can be really hard for a people pleaser. Ask me how I know. But that is reality. When we begin to stop checking with others for their opinions on our decisions and our progress and goals, that's when we are honest with ourselves. And that's where self-trust is built and confidence is deepened. Another thing I'm leaving behind in 2026, the idea that progress is linear, that one step builds on the next, healing is linear, success is linear, confidence is linear. None of those are linear. They all go in cycles. They go in loops. Healing goes in loops. Success goes in loops, or it can be a jagged line. It's what's the trajectory. Confidence definitely isn't linear. One day it feels like we got it, and the next day we're like, who am I kidding? Who is this person? Progress is not linear. It comes in layers. Everything spirals and loops. And sometimes it feels like you're never making progress. You're marching in place until you're far enough away to see the progress. It's kind of like watching your hair grow. You don't see your hair grow until you look at pictures from a year ago. Or in my case, I got really fed up with my hair 2 weeks ago and I cut it, many inches of it off. And I don't know what I'm doing. So, here's the new style, a la me. So anyway, until you're far enough to see it, far away enough to see it, sometimes you can't see this progress or this healing or the success that you're building. If this past year felt messy, slow, awkward, not what you wanted, that doesn't mean you weren't making progress. It just means you were building a foundation, and foundations can be really messy. Ask yourself gently, what belief about yourself are you ready to stop rehearsing? What are the tapes? What have you believed in your identity that just doesn't fit anymore? It doesn't hold true, and you're ready to release it. You don't need to take it with you. What else do you not need to take with you this year? Resolutions. I'm not taking any resolutions. I'm only taking intentions. Personally, I don't love resolutions. You know why? Not because you can't change or I can't change, because we can. Change is always possible. But because they often demand behavior without context. When you think about it, when you set a New Year's resolution, you're saying, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life by swimsuit season this summer, right? So my behavior must be this. But the context isn't within the context of our lives. Like, what else is going on this year? So instead, for me, I'm choosing intentions. I intend to be my healthiest each day. That means getting physical activity in. That means strength training. That means the 80-20 rule of eating foods that fuel my body and heal my body as opposed to foods that break it down and cause inflammation. That doesn't mean perfection, though. No rules, no ultimatums, just anchors. Here are a few more of mine. I intend to listen before I react. Again, thank you, Jefferson Fisher. He says when someone says something to you that you're kind of irritated by, or you're not sure what the intention was behind it, the most powerful first response we can have is a deep breath. An inhale for 2 seconds and an exhale. And it doesn't have to be a ticked off, like, not like that. He teaches to do it silently. So someone says something I don't particularly care for, someone says something maybe a little bit inflammatory, my first response, this is one of my first intentions for 2026, is that gives me time, gives you time to think about, what do you think the intention was behind that? How do I want to respond to that once I speak? How does my best self show up in this situation? I also intend to build from truth, not pressure. Not, I should, I need to, other people think I should. No. What is the truth? What is real? What is my purpose? So I intend to build from that place. I also intend to choose consistency over intensity. Consistency. Remember I spoke about trust a little while ago. Trust is built on consistent actions over and over. Even when situations change, the consistency is there. That's what I intend for this year. These aren't things I'm going to be perfect at. Trust me, definitely not. But they're things I'll keep returning to. I love the practice that says at the end of the day, Joe Dispenza speaks to this. At the end of the day, look back and say, what did I do well? What aligned with my best self? And then where did I not quite hit it right? With grace, with gentleness, where could I do better tomorrow? It's totally okay. We're human. But if I want to show up as my best self, it's pretty good to take an inventory each day and say, all right, this area wasn't my best self, but it's okay. I can make an intention tomorrow or the next day or next week to show up differently. If you want to choose one intention for yourself, try this. What do you want more of? In how you feel, not just in what you do. What do you want more of? Let that guide you. Before we close, let's consider everything you're ready to grow into. And let's consider everything you don't need to take with you. So you don't need resolutions. It's helpful to look at what's baggage I no longer am going to carry with me, and what are stars that are important for me to shoot for in the long run, and the steps that help me to get there. I don't need to hit the stars next month. I just need to know, what are they? So I know the path I'm taking that helps me to get there. You don't have to be all new you tomorrow. You're great as you are. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just be honest with yourself, listen, and be kind to yourself. Whatever you've got going on today or tonight, New Year's Eve, or if it's not New Year's Eve, thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're part of my world and my space. I look forward to walking together with you in 2026, thoughtfully, intentionally, and without us carrying unnecessary baggage along the way. We'll be lighter, we'll be calmer, and more grounded. Happy New Year, my friends. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the other side next week. Until then, stay pretty well. Bye.